welcome to Not One Right Way, the podcast. It's me, your co-host, Melissa Manuel, she, her, and
It's me, Marvin Metawagin Yaga, they, them, theirs.
how are you, Marv?
I'm doing it pretty swell. Ooh, I don't want to date the podcast.
I mean, this is coming out in March, so...
Yeah, I know. Okay. Well, I'm super excited. Today, season 2 of Culinary Class Wars was released on Netflix. Yep,
It's a big day.
Yep.
It's a big day for the Discord, for the group chat.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
that answers your next question too. I did start watching a little bit before we started recording. I
You're
inside
so brave
myself
for being able to pause and step away.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah.
A reason to live, a reason to like get up in the morning and be like, Culinary Class Wars is on the air. So excited.
It was really like me counting down the minutes till I could get home and turn on Culinary Class Wars.
It's really a holiday miracle.
Yeah.
Praise.
How are you doing?
Doing okay. To continue to date this episode, I'm flying to see my family for the holidays in a few days, so mentally preparing for that.
Yeah.
And by doing so, watching a lot of TV, because when I get there, it's like full on helping my mom. So not a lot of sitting and doing nothing. So doing a lot of that now. But I have been watching a lot of glitch stuff on YouTube. Like I see a lot of it on my Instagram. It's always recommended to me. So now I'm finally consuming it. I've watched all of the Amazing Digital Circus. Wow. I get it. I get the hype. And I just watched episode 7 just came out at the time of this recording. And I am unwell. And I think that's the general sentiment. It's such a good show. I won't spoil anything, but it is very... it'll fuck with you.
Okay.
You'd love it, Marv. You should watch it at some point.
I love when you say that. You're just like, this is so fucked up. Marv, you'd love it.
Because I know you would. You were a philosophy major. It's asking all the right questions.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think.
And you said prior to us starting this recording that it was similar to I have no mouth, but I must scream, which is like,
wow. I can't take the credit for that analysis. I watched a YouTube video that compared them. So credit to that YouTuber for making that analysis. And it was such a good comparison. I've never read that book, but I would read it now just to like really compare the two even more myself.
Yeah, I can send you the PDF.
Thank you. Great stuff. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm so excited because we have an amazing guest today, and I think we're going to have a really fun time. It's going to be a silly fun time just in time for the holidays, even though it's March. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Our guest today is Gabi Rodea, a storyboard artist. Welcome.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry, happy holidays. Hi.
Welcome.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm hanging out with my folks. I'm at my childhood home right now and, still on the clock. So working remote all the while. But yeah.
I get that. It's important. It's nice that you can.
Right?
What have you been watching?
Oh my gosh. Like just in general, I don't know if there's any like new shows that I'm currently watching right now.
Just in general. Rewatches are always welcome.
Yeah, I'm actually just this week. So my folks have Netflix. So since I'm here for a minute, I've been kind of watching all I can on there. And I've been watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood for the first time.
Oh my God. So good.
Studio Bones, man, like they're they're good. I'm really liking that. And then what else? I'm watching I don't know if you guys have watched this show, but it's like a documentary series on Apple TV called Prehistoric Planet. And they just came out with a new season. It's like Walking with Dinosaurs, but it's like new, up-to-date paleoscience. And the new season that just came out is about the Ice Age, the Cenozoic, which is like one of my favorite eras, I guess. I'm really into like paleontology and stuff. So
Yeah.
I've been watching that, and a lot of my like personal projects and stuff are about kind of like that time period. So I was really excited to dig in. And then my friends over in New York are watching the new Fiona and Cake season. So every once in a while I'll like sit in and watch with them, but I'm not like super familiar with the Fiona and Cake stuff. So I'm seeing like bits and pieces out of context of that whenever I like catch them watching it. But that's been very fun so far. Super pretty show. So I'm happy to have it around. We need more
Yeah.
pretty shows. So
It's
Yeah.
such a fun range.
Yeah.
I guess
Full Metal
so. Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is another one of those shows that will fuck you up and that I like. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got through that like infamous episode 4 that like everyone talks
Uh,
about. Like you're not ready, and then I I get why.
it's just kinda messed up,
Yeah.
and you're like,
It's a
"What?"
it's heavy. It's a heavy show
heavy.
with really interesting themes, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
First
yeah.
It's the first anime I ever watched.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, like, the one that got me over my, like, weird stigma against anime when I was like,
Sure.
I'm too cool for anime." And then I watched Fullmetal Alchemist, and I was like, "Oh, I get it, it's cool."
Right. I
Yeah.
think mine was Oron, and I think it just made me gayer. Um,
Fucking same.
um, which, I mean, hell yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember when Marv and I watched Oran Host Club together,
mhm.
and a lot of pieces clicked, and I was like, "This is yes." This is what
Mm,
makes
That
my
sure as
best
fuck
friend
you
my
up,
best
Marv,
friend.
you'd love it. That's the pieces are clicking.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hilarious. I'm gonna
How you
switch our direction a little bit. You know, I come from social work, and a lot of times the questions and conversation I'm having are like super heavy and involve me asking some pretty tough questions right off the bat. So I'm gonna give you a hard hitting question, and I'd like you to answer it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. My question for you today is: if your gender was a car, what car would it be?
Um, oh, no, I don't even, like, know Cars, and I'm wearing a Cars shirt. Isn't that funny?
That's
Oh,
Um,
perfect.
hilarious.
but, like, actual cars, I don't
I think it could
know,
be,
like
like, any car, like, it could be, like, a cartoon car, a famous car,
Yeah.
oh
any car.
my god. If it was any car, I would say the cars from the, like, ride in California Adventure that are just kinda specifically, like, the open green one. I feel like I kinda feel like that's my vibe. And then, I don't know, if it was like but if we're talking, like, real life cars now that I'm thinking about it, what are those, like those little, like they're like pickup trucks, but I feel like you see them like, in Japan and stuff where there's, like maybe there's, like, 3 wheels on them,
Mhm.
and they're kinda I don't know, they're kinda
Just like
scrungly looking, I like that.
truncated trunk.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I describe myself, yeah. Truncated.
Yeah.
What about you
Marv
guys?
Marv, you first.
You know, I was actually gonna say that my gender is my car. It's a light baby blue Fiat 500.
Oh,
She's
let me look that
scrappy.
up.
She's cute. She gets me I get away with, like, the absolute worst parking because she's so tiny. That's my
Oh,
gender.
that's cute. Doesn't Mr. Bean drive that car? This
I
one?
hope so. Yeah, probably, but
I feel like
Marv's car is a
Mr. Bean
little
had one.
blue, a light blue version of that.
Yeah.
That's nicer, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Melissa.
That's my answer. Oh, I'm gonna stick with my first answer. I am the yellow punch buggy from the Once Upon a Time show that Emma Swan drove around. That's the
Yes.
only car I've ever liked because I just don't care about cars, but that car specifically is the only car I've ever wanted to drive,
Okay,
and I just
period.
think that is me because for a long time it was like I hated pink, now I love pink, but that car, me, that's my gender, for a long time
Okay.
until I came into, like, really accepting my femininity, that's what I was, you know? Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And Cars get it.
Yeah.
I feel like they go through that too. That was the end of that.
Thinking about my car's identity crisis with all the stickers from previous owners that just, like,
Mhm.
do
Yeah,
not match
right?
me at all, but, they're so fun. I feel like that's kind of my gender too.
Yeah,
Previous
Oh,
the remnants of somebody else here.
yes. Hell yeah. Cars go through eras too.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about.
definitely. Great question, Marm.
thank you.
Yeah, that's really not what I expected, but hell yeah. I thought it was gonna be like a trauma-based one, and I'm like, "This is like, okay, I mean, they said heavy." Um,
It's always the bait and switch. Marv's always
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"I'm gonna get ya," and then
yeah,
it's a very easy softball question.
right.
yeah.
Well, I'll move us to the next part of our show, which is all about you, our special guest.
Ruh-oh.
Um, the first question I always ask is, when you were young, did you always know you wanted to work in art, in animation, or did you have a different goal?
I think I did well, depends on how far back, I guess. I feel like for when you're, like, 3 or 4, I feel like half of all kids are like, "I'm gonna be a zookeeper," because I really wanted to do that. But then I think around that same time, I did, like, my parents have drawings of mine from when I was probably about 3 or 4, and I would just, like, binge watch the Land Before Time movies or something and just be, like, copying that. And I would, like I didn't know at the time that these were storyboards, but I would essentially, like, do storyboards for, like, made up Wile E. Coyote cartoons and stuff. So I didn't know what I wanted to do with art, but I knew I wanted to do art. And then when Phineas and Ferb kind of first started, there was some at some point in that show's, like, original run, they they released this, like, video about, like, behind the scenes, and I remember being like, "Oh my god, that's, like, a job, I have to do that." And so, yeah, but I was kind of, like, dead set on something to do with drawing cartoons, I just didn't know what those jobs were.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And when you decided that you wanted to pursue art, did you go to school for it, or did
Right.
you weren't sure if that was the right way to do it?
I guess both, I wasn't sure, but I did go to school for it. I went to SVA in New York, and you know how, like, art school kind of does this, like, very broad, like, categories, so I just went there for animation and kinda thought I was gonna be an animator. But I knew that if I had, like, some schooling, then it would help me, like, kinda figure out, actually what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
So I think, like, very late in my college career, I was like, "Oh, shit, okay, storyboards is, like that's what I like to do." So, yes, yeah. But I did go to school for it.
Nice. And what was your experience at SVA like? Because normally I feel like a lot of people try to go to California, but you went all the way to the East Coast.
Yeah, right? I mean, it was chill. I think it
Good.
was probably really similar. I got in at a time where they really just wanted people, I think, in their in that major, and so, in some ways, I feel like, "Oh my god, all I had to do was, like, open the door to get into that school," but there were, like, so many really talented people, and I think that was, like, the first time that, like, was my first, like, little fish in a big pond moment.
Mm.
Um, so it really kind of I think a lot of people had their awakenings there where it's like, "Oh, I have to wise up and, like, really focus and wanna do this." So it was but it was good. I mean, it gave me the utilities that I otherwise wouldn't have had to kinda create stuff, and, I think it just taught me how to schedule my time and how to work with people. So, yeah, it was fun. I met, some of my best pals there, and, I think I got more familiarized with, like, what kinds of animation and films that I like, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
Yeah.
What was that transition like moving to New York?
Oh my god, that was great. So New York, I think, is still, like, to this day, my favorite place in the world, and I honestly, like, think I'm probably gonna move back at some point just because it's like the perfect city, but
Mhm.
when I first moved out there, I was dazzled by it, but I was also like, "Holy crap, I grew up in, like, the boonies, like, there's cornfields surrounding my town."
Wow.
And so I had, like, no yeah, it was like the first time, also my first time just not depending on my parents 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And so, because I was like the baby of the family. And so it was definitely like a tough adjustment, but I think it helped me be more independent. And New York is actually a really like I feel like that's an easier city to live in than LA, just because like
You can get
there's so
around.
much there for you. Yeah, you can get around easier. There's like kind of resources everywhere. You just have to be like brave enough to go outside basically.
Mm.
Um so that was good. But yeah, I think other than that, like my first semester was maybe kind of getting used to the place, and then after that, it just felt like I'd lived there forever. So yeah, definitely, it's taken me longer to adjust to living in LA. I feel like I'm still adjusting after like 4 or 5 years, you know. But New York, I don't know. I'll go back.
Now it's Mom Donnie's New York. You gotta go and breathe his air, you know?
That's right. I'm praying that they do something with that rent.
Yeah. The
um,
affordability that he
I
promised.
know. Let's hope that happens. I'm really hoping.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For all of our New York listeners, why don't we start a fight? Where's the best pizza in New York?
God, I don't even freaking know. Um, there was just like a couple I feel like, and this is probably gonna piss people off, but I feel like a lot of it is the same thing. It's
I mean,
it's the dollar slice stuff, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I and maybe my palate just isn't sophisticated, but I went to a lot of different places and thought, "This is what I expected." But
bread
I
and
also grew up
cheese.
near the Chicagoland area, so, there's that's part of the equation too. And,
Mhm.
I feel like deep dish is a special treat. It's not like a standard pizza, but it's really damn good. Um,
Okay. Okay.
so that was kind of a very, like, non-answer,
I
but
think
it's
it was
because I
an
don't know
appropriate
names of
answer.
places. Okay. Yeah.
It's very political, and
Yeah.
I hope
Mhm.
people respond in the comments.
Yeah. You know what I will say is that I didn't get a ton of pizza, but a lot of times I would have classes all the way on the west side, and I lived on the east side,
Mm.
around, like, 23rd, 24th Street. And on my way back from class, there was, like, this little German deli, and I would always get a schnitzel sandwich from there. And
Ooh,
I think if we're just, like, kind of, like, saying any old place, it would be that place, whose
Makes
name
sounds
escapes me,
great.
but that's where I would go.
That sounds great. I love New York. I love to visit mostly because I love to eat, and it's got great food. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
I I could just talk about food. So we're gonna move on. When did you move to from New York to California? Was it for work or some other motivation?
Yeah, it was for well, yeah, I had gotten hired at Disney in 2021, so kind of,
Mm.
like, still during that, like, quarantine era of COVID, and I worked for about 6 months remotely from Indiana because it was, like, kind of that weird time where it sucked because we were in, like, the pit of quarantine, but it was also really good for a lot of remote workers because companies were like, "I guess we can do everything out of office." But then when we had finished season 3 on the show, I had, like, a one-on-one with one of the showrunners, and he was just kind of being like, "Yeah, I don't know if, like, Disney's policy going forward is gonna be like, if we're gonna keep remote hires or whatever," and so that scared me enough to be like, "Okay, I have to actually move out there because I don't wanna lose my job." Um,
Uh-huh.
so I did move for work, and it was, like, beginning of 2022. So, yeah, it will be about 4 years I've lived out there now.
I think you moved around the same time I moved to LA, around 2022.
Hell yeah. We
Happy
was probably
almost
sitting
4
next to
years.
each other on a plane, didn't even know it.
Probably. You would have heard my cat screaming because he hated it so much
Well,
when
damn
we
it.
moved. Yeah. I moved to LA, well, from Colorado because that's where Marv and I went to school, and
Mm.
it was a blizzard, and so my husband, he was gonna drive all his stuff, and I was gonna fly with our cat, and I was supposed to help pack, but there was a blizzard coming, so I had to fly out a day early, and he got COVID and had to pack sick and drive sick, and I flew on a plane with our cat, who did not enjoy that experience.
Oh, no.
Like, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
Yeah, what the
Yeah.
heck?
But I hope
Yeah.
your moving experience was peaceful.
Nope. The flight was
Of
fine,
course.
but I kinda had to go it alone, and that was what freaked me out. Because when I started school, like, my parents flew out with me and kind of, they were in a hotel, and then they did the proper like,
Mhm.
once I was moved in, they're like, "Okay,"
Yeah.
but when it was New York, I kinda had to just figure out a place and kind of pray that it was gonna be okay when I got there. So I saw my parents off in Chicago, and then so it was, like, really, like, into the great unknown kinda thing. I had never been to California in my life, and so,
Yeah.
and I had set up I had set up just, like, an apartment with this guy who also moved from New York who I had met on, like, Hinge, and we were just kind of like, "Hey, we're still, like, chill, right? Wanna be roommates? I need someone to live with." And that worked out for about a year, and then I GTFO'd. So,
Yeah. Well, at least you had someone to share the rent for a year, and then you could find a better place.
period. That's what it's all about.
That's all you can hope for.
Yeah.
Well, when you moved out here, what was that transition period like? Because like you said, it was a little you didn't know anyone, you didn't know anything, and I think
Yeah.
for other listeners who are moving to LA, how did you find your feet, get used to living here, make make yourself feel more comfortable?
Mhm. We we were very lucky to have, like, an in-office crew. So for that first year, we were kind of hanging with people face to face, and I was kind of, figuring out who I really vibed with and who I didn't, and I lived in kind of East Hollywood at the time, so not in the Valley, and it was, like, a long kind of Uber commute that I was doing because I have no license, I have no car, you know? And so, it was doing that until I, like, kind of, like, made some friends who were nice enough to be like, "I'll drive you." And so, usually the people who I ended up getting rides with were the people who I hung out with.
Mhm.
So it was, like, a very weird, unconventional way of, like, finding my community. And then when I moved into the Valley a year later, it was, like, those same people that I was comfortable enough with, and then but it was really weird, like, that first year, I was kinda just doing a lot of stuff on my own, and, that was tough. I think mentally that was really tough because I didn't feel super close to anybody or like I had a support system. But then definitely once I moved into the Valley and closer to work and these are people who I'd known a lot better by then, I feel like I had more of a community. So, took a minute.
Yeah. The listeners will know this, but I recently moved to LA a handful of months ago. And wow, better than both of your stories, in part because I had friends there.
Hooray!
Hooray. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm the
that's
friend
great.
in question, at least one of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, that's a good story to share because I think a lot of people I mean, I think I felt it too when I first moved here. It was like even though I had my partner, it was kinda lonely because like, he had all his friends. I didn't know nobody.
Mhm.
And it's hard to meet people when you're an adult
Yeah.
and make friends.
Well, I also just think, like, people in LA are a little more like, if you don't know the city, if you're not used to this environment, like, people kinda scare you before you talk to them. And I'm used to like, I grew up in again, like, in this, like, cornfield town where, you see someone, you're like, how's it going?" And it doesn't matter, and they'll talk to you. And here, it's a little more like, I'm keeping to my damn self unless you have something to do for me, you know? And then once you get over that, it's a lot easier because turns out that they are also just very anxious people.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
I think we all have so much anxiety that
Right,
it
right.
holds us
Everyone
back.
in LA has a therapist now,
Yeah,
um, and we love that. It's called self-care.
so
Yeah.
true.
Self care, choose happiness,
Right.
live, laugh, love. Uh,
Period.
that's something me and my social work friends would say to each other. Like, that's self care. Choose happiness. But it's like declarative statements like, choose
Right.
happiness,
Yes.
live, laugh, love.
Mhm.
Feels a little threatening, but in
It
a
is.
yeah.
We did, like, a
What's a
whole
threat?
episode about that on Big City Greens.
I think I remember that one.
Yeah, where, like, the dad gets really into these, like, live, laugh, love, like, blankets and pillows and stuff,
Mhm.
but he kinda becomes aggressive about it, and makes the whole family kind of adopt this live, laugh, love
It's a little
lifestyle, and they're like,
culty.
"Oh my god, we're choosing happiness." But hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No.
I'm not trained in this field, if you couldn't tell. So, um,
You don't have a master's in social work? That's crazy.
hell
It is
no.
wild, it's wild. People don't just do that casually?
I don't even read books.
There's time for that. I mean, in between watching all my reels that my friends send me and
Yeah,
my YouTubes, how am I gonna read a book?
exactly.
Yeah.
But speaking of Big City Greens, can you share a little bit about, I mean, how you got hired on the show? What was that process like for you?
Yeah, well, so when I was hired, it was kind of they were in the middle of season 3, I think they were that was one of our shorter seasons, so it was, like, 10 half hours and 10 half hours, and there was, like, a big break in between. And, there were a lot of change ups happening on the show, people getting promoted and people, leaving for other projects, and so, if you guys know Kiana Consmith, Kiana Mai online, so she was, gonna she was promoted to be a director on the show. She was a storyboard artist, and then she was becoming a director for the rest of season 3. And, they needed, new board artists, and, they usually don't take, like, recommendations if people have recommendations for people to hire. But I think it's just, like, if your name comes out of Kiana's mouth, it's just it's like, you're golden. And so she, already was such, like, a trusted person on that show. The brothers love her. And so she and I had known each other, through, I think, Twitter. I had a Twitter at the time, and I did a lot of Pokemon fan art, and, she loves Pokemon as well. And, so she kinda wanted a person who liked Pokemon to replace her. Um, and so she, like, reached out to me on Twitter, and she's like, "Are you still looking for work?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, and it was only, like, a year after college that I was very, very lucky, because most people have to wait way longer, you know? And so, she recommended me, and the brothers looked at my stuff and then wanted to test me and all that. So when people ask me this, I have to, really just hammer it home that, like, this is a special case. I was very lucky. Um, but then, that luck got me the opportunity to test for the show, and, it just ended up being a good, comedic and artistic fit. Um, and, uh and the rest, as they say, is history. So then I've been boarding on the show, since season 3, and now we're, kind of in the second half of season 5, in terms of storyboards. So, still going strong.
Nice. Huge fan of Kiana, as any Pokemon nerd would be.
Aren't they all? Yeah,
Yeah,
she's awesome.
she's great. But I would say it's not just luck, but we've had a lot of guests who say this. It's timing, luck, and hard work. So it's a big part of you putting in the hard work and your
Yeah,
talent. So I think you
Yeah.
have a big part in your success as well, to give you credit.
thank you so much.
Your
Yeah, well
dedication to Pokemon fan art is what got you there. And I think, like,
no,
we
for
just
real.
we need
Yeah.
to, hammer in that that's an
Mhm.
important skill and a trade
Yeah.
that
That's what I tell people. I was like, the opportunity to test if the luck was anything, it was that.
Mhm.
But then it was like, okay, here's your chance to show your skills. And then that was all the stuff that all the skills I had acquired and all the, the stuff that I learned over the years that helped me through that portion of it.
And for people who may not know, what does a test look like? When you say test for an interview, what is it
Yeah.
like for a storyboard artist?
Um, so there are little differences depending on the project. But for it's you broadly, it's the same thing where it's, for Big City Greens, they gave us, like maybe it was like a page of a script, not for an episode, just kind of a sample script, and they said, okay, board this. It's about a minute. and for big city, I think this was around the time where it still was more board driven than script driven. So I don't even think it was like fully, that it was all the dialogue was there. So they had parts of it where it was like, oh my god, what was the test? It was something about like cricket having fleas, and they were supposed to be like, until he's like, how'd you get fleas or something like that. And so there'd be parts of the script where it was like, okay, cut away to like show how cricket got fleas and make it funny or something.
Mhm.
And so then you have to so you had to write like a whole scene essentially. But you board that out and then send it in, and usually it's just that. You'll send them a board file or a PDF. And I so personally I really like to do like voices and stuff, and so um I recorded scratch for it. I like did impressions of all of the greens.
Mhm.
And I should find that test. I have it somewhere, but, I made, like, a QuickTime, like, animatic and sent
That's
that to
awesome.
them, and I think that kinda helped me also, kinda grab that grab that job, because 'cause they're like, "Oh, shit, and he can pitch." So, you know,
That
it worked
helps.
out. Mhm.
Nice.
You're on the Big City Greens fan wiki, which I think is delightful. You have your own page.
Yeah.
Um, how do you feel about being on a fan wiki as as an
Weird.
artist?
I found that out, like, a couple years ago, and the crew knows, like, we look at the wiki now.
Yeah, it's a good
Um
source of information in case you forget the lore.
There's Yeah, and some of it's true even. Some of that information is true. Um, and some of it there's something on that page where it says, like, the character Gregly was inspired by Gabi, which is
I was gonna
not
ask,
true.
is this accurate?
No.
Where's the source?
No, I think they just looked at this, like, glasses kid with messy hair who, like, seems like a 65-year-old man in a 12-year-old's body and thought, I think that's actually him." Um But no,
Um,
Gregly was a concept from, like, when the brothers were developing the show, and they just happened to hire someone who shares a lot, of traits. But no, I am not
gonna
the
have to
inspiration.
submit this episode of the podcast to the fan wiki, like, confirmed, debunked, you're
Set
spreading
'em
this
straight, I don't
information.
know,
Yeah.
and maybe they'll tell you that I'm wrong and that it but I don't know. I don't know who
Who's writing
really.
that?
It's some kid in Brazil, I think, that
Something about
they're
Brazilian fandoms are so powerful.
that's what it is. No, for real. They're dedicated and thorough. But not
Like, the
thorough
per
enough because I'm not Gridley.
yeah, the Percy Jackson Brazilian fandom is one of the strongest I've ever seen. They go
Leave it
hard.
to him.
It
Mhm.
only took you 30 minutes to mention Percy Jackson.
Well, it's
Wow.
it's either I talk about Percy Jackson, Once Upon a Time, or Craig of the Creek. It's gonna be one of the 3.
Slay. They're talking about Percy Jackson at work, like, all the time. I'm
As they
hoping that
should.
means it keeps going. I mean,
I know.
I haven't watched it actually, but I've seen so much content around it just on the channel, and where they're making all these Phineas and Ferb shorts about it,
I've saw
and
that.
they're like,
It's cool.
we're getting email after email, so good for them.
Season 2 got so much more promotion than season 1, which I'm
Yeah,
hoping is a good sign we get at least all 5 seasons for all 5 books.
yeah. Your guess is as good as mine, you never know with Disney.
Yeah. If this had happened when I was really into the books when I was, like, 10, my little brain broken.
When I was really into the books.
I say with my little Percy Jackson tattoo. Um,
Oh, hell yeah.
dedicated. This isn't about me. I'd love to know what it was like getting to be a voice actor in the show as well. Because you mentioned you did voices for the test, but
Oh,
you got to eventually
yeah.
be a voice actor for the show.
Yeah, so so Chris would always, like, compliment me on, like, my because I would do impressions around the office and stuff, and he'd be like, "Oh, yeah, we should get you on the show sometime," and then I just, that was a conversation left on, in the
Mhm.
in the kitchen or whatever. But there was this what Mingus. He said, "Tell him everything." Um, like late season 4, me and my former board partner, we had this pitch where, oh, that's right. Okay, so in the script for this episode, it involved it was like 2 characters in a cafe, and we usually get pre-designed for new characters.
Mhm.
Um and but occasionally we don't, and we get to take a whack at designing them. And so we got those and we're like, yeah, figure it out. And I kind of go to my board partner and I'm like, we could just draw ourselves. We were always kind of looking for a way to sneak ourselves in the show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, we designed these characters to, like, vaguely look like us, and I remember in one of the pitches or one of the in the pinup pitch, which is, where we, like, print it all out and put it up on the walls, you know? And, our sorry, my cat is not having it. I'm not gonna get through this question. One of our EPs, he was like, "Is that supposed to be you guys?" And we're like, "I don't know." And he was like, "Hey, that's alright."
Can it be?
What you know? Yeah, and so he was like, "Yeah, we can keep it in as long as we can." And then I know, Mingus, when we got to the pitch, we kind of did it with our voices, and it was it involved us, like, talking over each other and, like, annoying the hell out of the grandma. And the whole kind of crew was just, like, laughing at, like, 'cause, like, it's so us. The characters acted like kinda how we act in real life. So it was just coincidentally, it matched us really well. And so there were talks about, "Oh, we should get them to voice them," and we knew oh, that probably won't happen. Um, and it did. They asked us to record for them, and we had to, do all that extra paperwork because that's a SAG gig and,
Mm.
all that. And, but then I remember so we got to do the voice, and that was great. And I remember they had talked about like, "Oh, well, they're designed after them, so we should give the designers, like, reference." And, we did. We gave them photo reference. We got to choose, like, what color we would be because everybody's a weird color in that show
Yeah.
and all that, and it was really cool. And then there was a point where the legal team was like, "Oh, wait, these are, like, real people?" And they're like, Yes." And they're like, "Yeah, that's not allowed." And so then there was this whole thing about how, like, you can't
Left.
insert cast or you can't insert crew into the show. And it was this whole, like, kind of back and forth battle. And I remember we were talking about, like, this show did it, this show did it, this show did it. But the rules there change all the time. And so it ended with me and my board partner kind of having to sign, like, a likeness consent form, for Disney to have so that we couldn't decide we wanna sue one day. Um, but exactly. And so we got away with it. I don't know if we can ever do that again now because it became a whole thing,
Yeah.
but, so that worked. So that was my only role for that. And I went into the studio for maybe, like, half an hour. And I don't know if you've seen the scene, but it's just me going like, and, pretty much.
Mm.
Um,
Disney owns that. They own your ums
and
and
Disney
uhs.
owns that now. Hey, Disney's first, like, Mexican queer glasses wearing, Crocs wearing character. Let's go.
Mhm.
It brings
And there's
Yeah.
gonna be
in
an article that's like Disney's first, and it's you.
yeah, it's our first one. So, you know, but yeah.
It's great. I love that episode.
Alright. Oh my
It's
god,
fun.
hold on. I'm so sorry about that. My cat is just fine.
Does Mingus want us to ask him a question? Is that why he's upset?
Mangus, you wanna get a little question asked? Come here, mommy. Let's see if I can pick him up. Come here. No, he doesn't wanna be picked up.
Okay.
Um, he just wants to sit here and feel like he's a part of the conversation, but I don't think he likes to be seen.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry. He
It's
picked up
okay.
this in his mouth, and so I had to take it away from him.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
not for cats.
no.
Um, as we approach the end, I have some more fun questions. Not as important, but I'm very curious. Chespin is famously on your Instagram your favorite Pokémon. Is there a specific reason for Chespin being your favorite?
Yeah, well, I feel like so for some context, I feel like I in my different, let's say, eras of my life, I have kind of stuck to one outfit that like if it works, it works. And when I was in high school, that was around the time Chespin came out. So in high school, I was in my little twink era, and I had my this green hoodie that I would wear all the time, and my hair would kind of peek out like this. And so Chespin came out, and everyone's like, "That looks like you." And in the show, he was, like, lazy and a glutton, and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, actually." So I I messed with that for a while, and then they had, like, one of those official illustration contests, and, so I did this was on the 3DS, and so I designed a Chespin card, and I was one of the winners for that, and
Wow,
that's kind of now that's part of my whole thing is that I designed a Chespin promo card,
that's
um,
awesome.
so
Do you
yeah,
have a copy
so
of the
that
card?
with me, no, but,
Mm.
I
But you
think if
have
you
one.
Google, like, Gabi Chespin, you'll find the card or something.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, yeah, but yeah, that's probably why he's my favorite. I like little armadillos and little spiky things, so
Yeah. And speaking of kind of spiky things, I'm going back to the dinosaurs. I know you've been working on a private project that has to do with prehistoric stuff. Are you comfortable sharing a little bit more about that?
yeah. So we're in a time where, like, studios don't really want pitches, want original pitches or anything. And, you see people like Kiana or like my friend Bree who created the 3 tomes, just kind of, like, putting their stuff out there, and I don't really care so much about being like, having a show a as I do just, like, making a thing for myself and sharing it with people, so, in my spare time, I'm working on a project it's just called Bertha right now, and it's about a Neanderthal girl who lives in, I guess, like Pleistocene Mexico. But without saying too much, it is kind of like it's like a weird superhero story in a way,
Mhm.
that takes place just in a time where maybe humans are not the dominant species, and it's kind of it's a big transitionary period for everybody on Earth, and there and it's just kind of there's like what are you doing? There's like themes about how, someone has been where you are and someone will be where you are now and stuff like that. And kind of there's a repeated kind of like lyric in the songs and stuff about like keep evolving and stuff like that. And so
Their
I think it'll be
songs.
fun. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Oh my
musical?
god. Yeah.
Ooh.
I think it was Lauren Bouchard. He said that like cartoons and music go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Mm.
And I fully believe that. So, like, my thesis film from SVA was a musical. I've written a few songs for Big City Greens, and so that's always something that and my parents are musicians, and so that's always something that I'm gonna try
Mhm.
to so, currently, I'm working on like, a opening song sequence for Bertha that hopefully I can post online, next year. We'll see.
Yay. We
Yay.
spoke to Bree last week about she was on the podcast, and that was super fun. They told us a bunch about their tomes, and we loved talking to them. So now we get to
Yeah,
support 2 projects. We get to support their
period.
tomes and Bertha. This is great for us.
Yeah. We actually were here we actually got insider info, you know, hot off the press.
I know. I haven't published this nowheres. Um, but yeah.
It's a yeah, it's so exciting to see more people making stuff because they believe in it and don't
Yeah.
need, I guess, like, the validation of a big studio. I know we need
Mhm.
the money of a big studio, but we don't need the big
Right.
studios to tell us that
It's
it's
a
good
lot
or
of, like,
not.
proof of concept kind of projects just kinda going out there, but yeah, and I think it's good. I think it's a lot of people who are like, "Well, why the hell am I waiting around for someone to tell me I'm good enough?" And, I'm a little excited for this kind of indie-ish era of just, we're going back to, "You know what? Screw it, look at my stuff," you know? And I hope that I think everybody should if they got something they wanna if they got a story they wanna tell, they should just do it, how whatever means they have, you know? But, yeah.
Yeah. If there's any way people could support Bertha, that is, can you let us know?
Yeah, I mean, for now, birth is still, like, very, like, in the developmental stages and, I'll probably talk more about it once I'm feeling more confident with where it's going, but, it's on my Instagram. I'll occasionally post stuff about that in between pictures of my cat. So and until then, it's just gonna be kinda there. But yeah, I'll make some proper posts, I think, once I get closer to finishing this opening teaser thing.
It's awesome. Well, thank
Mhm.
you for sharing a little bit with us, and we can't wait to see what comes of it. We'll be sharing and posting on our Instagram too once you do.
Thank you. Love to hear it.
Yay! We're excited. I love supporting indie animation at all times.
Oh, yeah.
And do you have any final advice for people who want to be storyboard artists?
If you wanna be a storyboard artist, I just think, don't be too picky with how you feel like you wanna draw. I know a lot of people for a long time are really they kinda get really focused on, like, "This is my style, and this is how I draw." But, like, that's gonna be prevalent in anything that you draw, no matter what style you're matching. Your yourself, your essence is always gonna come through. There's that, and I think also just, train yourself to not get tired of drawing, because that's, I think, the biggest thing is that, you've got deadlines, but you gotta keep going, and a lot of that has to do with time management and work-life balance, but, yeah, you know, get used to, drawing stuff that maybe isn't picture perfect right away, but you just gotta get stuff down and, trust the process, I guess. At least that was what it was like for me. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good advice.
And publish your Pokemon fan art.
Yeah.
For reals, you guys, you gotta start drawing yourself with your Pokemon. Everybody does it. Come on.
Yeah.
Post your fan art. You never know who's gonna see it. It's really important.
Right. If it's Pokemon, send it to me. I'm
Ideally,
I'd love to see more Pokemon stuff.
me
Um,
too. I've
yeah.
loved all your CA stuff you've been posting. It's been great.
Oh, shucks.
I'd love to know, this doesn't have to be on the air, your thoughts on the game, because I know some people like it, some people don't. But
Oh, ZA. I think the Legends games are not my thing. I think
mm,
it's a very fun game, but I already got tired of it. But I like when games are easy. I'm not really a gamer. And
that's what
so
I've been saying. Close the
right?
world. Why are they so open?
Close
Close
the
them,
damn world already. There's a draft.
right?
I
Tell me where to
like
go. Stop giving me
when Pokemon is
choices.
just press A, because then if I'm in the middle of a battle, I can just, I can be like, "La, la, 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 la," and then, like, kind of just I have this thing here, all I have to do is press A. But now I
Yeah.
have to, like, think, and that's not good for me.
Yeah.
Why are they asking so much of me? Like,
I'm not good at thinking.
um, my brain is tired. I
Like,
come
I
and I
just yeah, I wanna have my little guys, uh, for me, a Pokemon is a form of self-expression. Just give me the team of pieces of shit that matches my vibe, and then I'll go play Zelda if I want like, a good action game or something. I don't know games. Is that a good one? I don't know, but,
that's what they
uh
say. I don't
okay.
know.
Call of Duty?
No, that's a bad
Modern
one.
Warfare 3?
Yeah, gotta get
Stop.
on COD with the boys, as they say.
That's so embarrassing that you said that, Mark.
I'll have to work on that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Okay.
I this
We
is a
got one.
this is the only game I've made, and, it's fine. It's okay.
Well, shoot, I don't know if you know this, but everybody's been talking about that for years. Everybody talking about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So,
It's take a
hey,
nap for, like, a year. Coming out too much.
yeah.
It's like Pokemon, like, there's a Pokemon game every year. I think we could take,
Oh my
like, a
god, I know.
break, give the devs some time to cook longer.
Right? Do you watch
Doesn't
the did you guys watch the anime at some point, Pokemon?
Yeah, I'm watching, Horizons as it comes out
Horizons
in
is great.
English. It's so good.
Yeah, I've been
I
watching
love
the
it.
Japanese and the English. And
How do
so
you
I'm like,
watch the Japanese? I feel so behind.
well, I studied Japanese for a while, and that's kinda how I got into, like, the anime of it because I was, like, the one kid in Japanese class that, like, wasn't super into, like, anime
Mhm.
until I took the class, and then all of my classmates were like, "You gotta watch this, you gotta watch this, you gotta just" and it was just a good way to practice. So now I can
Wow.
watch them. Um,
Hajime
yeah.
mashite. I just finished taking Japanese 1 at community
Oh, yeah.
college, and I failed. I did not do well, but I can read
Oh,
hiragana and katakana pretty well.
you got Hajime Mashite down.
Thank you. I
Oh,
can say "ikura desu ka?" and
right. Okay.
basic stuff. I just don't think I got the vocab in my brain.
So you can meet someone and you can go to a store, and I think that's kind of all you need if you're going
Yeah,
over there. So
that was the main goal when I took the class.
right, yeah.
So,
Well,
but that's cool.
good.
K kinda so how many languages can you speak or understand?
I have, like, barely 3. I feel like I can speak I'm, like, somewhat conversational in Japanese. I know an embarrassingly small amount of Spanish for being a Mexican kid. Um, I'm pretty damn good at English. I'm still getting the hang of it, but
Yeah.
I feel like, there's some stuff where I just kinda smile and nod, but for the most part, been nailing that since, like, when do people talk? 3? I don't know when that was.
It's good.
So oh, yeah.
That's not bad. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for spending your Tuesday with us. It's been so lovely getting to know you, and thank you so much. And Mingus as well.
Likewise, it was a pleasure. I'll tell Mingus you see, now he went to sleep.
Uh, girl.
That boy's not right. I don't know. But, yeah, no, thank y'all so much for inviting me, and it was lovely meeting y'all as well.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
That was our conversation with Gabi. It was so nice. That was so fun.
I love when I hear such a funny story that I know is, like, tied to serious consequences, right? Like, you got a job, like, your first industry job at a major studio because you do Pokemon fan art? Like, bonkers. And that's also, like, real life, you know?
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Pokemon's really important. Get into it now.
Mhm.
Also, I know that Gabby's cat, Mingus, was a real star in this episode, but my cat, Mimikyu, has just popped up and now he wants to be in the podcast. He's jealous.
Yeah. The listeners cannot see this, but Mimikyu is fully in front of the camera.
Showing you his butt.
Yep.
Ew. He's stinky. Smells like cat food. Anyway, that was so fun. And I feel like I talked too much about me this time. Next time, don't let me talk about myself too much.
I'm probably not gonna stop you.
Fair enough. Mimikyu, you're in the way. This is our last recording of 2025. Coming out in 2026, though. Time's funny.
Yeah, I can
Trying
hear
to
it.
get his, trying to get his little purse.
Mhm. Very cute.
Purr, purr, purr. I hope all our listeners will keep an eye out for Bertha and Three Tomes and Cotton Candy Flavor Media's productions. Just keep up with all the indie stuff. Follow
Mhm.
Glitch. Follow, I would say Busy Pop stuff, but I don't know if that's in as is small and indie anymore. But support indie
Right,
animation.
right.
It's great. I love it. It's so exciting to talk to all these creators and their work. And it's so great to talk to them with you, my best friend.
Aw, thanks for podcasting with me.
Thanks for podcasting with me. And now we're gonna go watch Culinary Class for season 2.
Yeah.
Great. So hungry. So it's gonna be great to watch while hungry. And everyone should remember to subscribe, leave a review, leave a comment, tell us which pizza you like better, New York pizza, Chicago style pizza, and that our cover art is made by Liz. You can follow them on Instagram. This episode's edited by Marv. And remember,
There's
not
one
right
way.
to go to art school in New York and learn to be a storyboard artist.
There's not one right way to move to LA with a roommate you found on Hinge.
And there's not one right way to get your first job in the industry because you love Pokemon. Thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.
Bye.